You have successfully managed to claw your way into the Casa Berenice Recordings podcast, episode 26.
This podcast is our way to release multi-tracked recordings from house concerts that we host in our living room. We being Clay Chaplin and Heather Lucky, and including our Claude friends Xenotron, Fuzzy, Nemesis, and Fluff Nugget. This episode features a performance by Eve Elliot. It was recorded live at a Casa Berenice house concert on March 4th, 2023.
Stick around after the performance for an interview with Eve Elliot.
And now, here is Eve Elliot performing on piano and voice.
You guys, I've had an eclectic musical path. Somehow I got into playing ragtime in the last few years. So I guess I'm going to do a mix of some ragtime and some of my own songs, which are not really related thematically, so I apologize for that, but that's what you get. So I'm going to start with a ragtime song. I'll just go back and forth. So this one is a Scott Joplin collaboration with Scott Hayden. And it's called Sunflower Slow Drag. I live in this old Victorian house, and when I first moved in there, it was like haunted by this horrible troll, and I had to avoid that troll. And so I would practice on the 3rd floor, which is just an attic. And it was really dark in there because the roof is gabled. But there was one window at the edge. And so I'd be in there practicing, trying to achieve my goals in life. And look outside and see it's a sunny day, but I'm in this shitty dark room. And I was just like, damn, what if someday it's like the Matrix and you can just download a skill and you don't have to spend your life trying to get a skill. So that's what I wrote this song about. So here it goes. ragtime song. So you all probably know Scott Joplin, and you may not know James Scott. So there was kind of the big three in ragtime. I used to be able to do a lot of different things, but now I can kind of just play ragtime. So one day I'll do that other stuff again. So James Scott, Scott Joplin, and Joe Lamb. Those are sort of called the big three in ragtime. Andrea knows what I'm talking about. She's got a ragtime bow. I don't know where she is. There she is. Okay, whatever. I'll stop talking. Here we go. This is a James Scott. It's called Efficiency Rag. Yes. These songs would, often the authors would write them and just send them into the publisher, and the publisher would just be like, yeah, I'm going to call it this. So it's not like, you don't have to listen to the song and be like, what did they mean by that? Because it's not the composer usually giving it the title. But you certainly can, and why not? Okay, so I'm going to play a song. I apologize in advance. This is one of mine. It's very dirty. It's an old song, but I'm very proud of it. It was actually because of Song-A-Day. You guys know Song-A-Day or CalArts people. And so I had just bought a ring modulator pedal for my guitar, and I was like doing Song-A-Day, and I came up with this idea, and it became this song. And I really like it. And I was going through some things at the time, and maybe some of you can relate. I don't know. So I think Narina's heard this song, and now you're all going to hear it. whether you like it or not. Okay. I've never played on piano, though. I wrote it on guitar. And with a band and everything, but whatever. All right, let's see. Boys looking at cocks and titties all alone in their room. Come up for air, why don't you? Well, there's 1,000,001 girls who do you right now. Just a smile, a few sweet words, and you'd be in Bone Town. But nothing compares to that familiar blue glare. Astroglide and a box of tissues. Whoa, what's the boy stressed to do? Jack of robots, paralyzed by too much wanking. Sluts are out there for the taking. Don't you wanna? Don't you wanna? Bitches ain't shit. All they bring is trouble, and you know it's true. Why even try when your own two hands can satisfy you? Rub one out. Come on, fellas, you know, we know. We know you know. It's no secret. Don't waste your money tricking bills she might not even put out. She might not put out. Don't waste your time leaving the clip for 25 minutes. Anybody got time for that? Well, she'll toss you aside if you're coming up short. But your laptop will never reject you. Or ask for a ride to the airport. This one goes out to all the world's jack of robots, paralyzed by too much wanking. Sluts are out there for the taking. Don't you wanna? Don't you wanna? Don't you wanna? Boys looking at cocks and titties all alone in their room. Come up for air, why don't you? Oh, that's 'cause it's going down the drain, and it's a damn shame. 'Cause ladies are trying to get somewhere out here, dying to get some poontang. Yeah. Now hear this plea to any wanker listening right now. That means you too. For the sake of the human race, you gotta hit shut down. Yes, it's true, a real girl might not want you to choke her, or spit in her throat, or pound her ass with a Nerf ball. But you can't win them all. And listen, everyone's trying to get some. Girls are high and dry and dying to bump with you, hump with you, slap, tap, and jump with you. Gotta give it up. Come on, hombres, we've had enough of jack-off robots. Paralyzed by too much wanking. Sluts are out there for the taking. Don't you wanna? Don't you want a jack-off robot? Wish you had a jack-off robot. Shit. Thanks. I hope that wasn't too much for the kids.
My students. Any children back there? Okay, good. You're fine.
But you know, I know it's bad words, but I think it's helpful because when I was a kid, everyone said, "Oh, when you grow up, it's gonna be like this and that," and then it wasn't like that, and I thought, "Is there something wrong with me?" You know. Anyway, so I thought this song could be maybe helping someone be seen. So let's go back to ragtime. I did a Joe Lamb, I did a James Scott. Oh no, I did a Joplin, I did a James Scott. So I'll do a Joe Lamb. The last song I'm going to play is like kind of a more mopey, cerebral song. So Joe Lamb was kind of a more cerebral guy. He was the only one of the big three who was white. Most of the ragtime composers were black. But yeah, his music's kind of like beautiful and heady. Let's see. I'll do a Joe Lamb. This one's called. I'll do Alaska Rag. Alaska Rag. I remember what I was going to say. What I was going to say is that I usually play Tuesday nights at 1642. That's my regular ragtime gig. And the piano is the worst piano of all time. It just is going to go straight into the garbage or the ocean or whatever when we replace it. It's so bad. And this piano is really nice, Heather.
Hey, could you thank my mom into the camera?
Thanks, Heather's mom.
She literally
Wow.
bought us this piano.
That is astonishing, and that's so nice of you, and thank you for doing that.
You're the first, you're not the first. You're the second real pianist who's played it, and it's such a pleasure.
It's really nice. It's a really nice piano. It's kind of like, imagine if you started walking around one day and suddenly you had a third arm, and you're like, whoa, what should I do with this third arm? This is cool, but I'm not used to this. That's how it feels playing this piano. Yeah. Okay, so I'll do one of my own tunes. This is the last one. Well, I'll just play it. No, wait. I have a thing I'm going to say. Is that it's like when you just don't know. That's what it's about. Your eyes ask me, my heart answers, meeting your gaze and looking away. Your light blinds me. If I linger, it's too much. But I look anyway. Your love saved me. I was drowning. Now I can breathe, although the water's still deep. And I am unchanged. I'm still heavy. I'm still in need. But I'll give you every kindness that I can. Yield as much as I can stand. I always pay a price, but I still get high. I never let you touch me, but you still try. If I don't get my way, I still get something. I'm afraid I'll never change, but you taste yummy too. So when I tell you it'll hurt and you say yes, I still ask you if you're sure, and you still say yes. Your voice ringing sounds so lovely, fills me with sorrow as it lifts me so high. You keep singing your song to me, but I still need mine. And I still might find it until I hear you say it's too much. I won't look away. Hello, my name is Eve Elliot, and I'm a pianist and also a multi-instrumentalist and songwriter. Tonight I played a mix of ragtime and my own original songs, which felt a little bit disparate, but that's what I had to offer tonight. I got into playing ragtime maybe 4 years ago, and I was quickly assimilated into the ragtime scene in LA, which is very, very small, so they're very happy for anybody new coming on the scene. So I've gotten a lot of ragtime-based work in the last few years, and I've sort of come to specialize in that. But before I did anything like that, I was just a hick writing my own songs. I didn't have any formal musical education. And I was doing that in bands, and so I used tonight as an opportunity to revisit some of my own songwriting as well. My songwriting process, usually what happens is I'll be practicing just rote stuff, boring things, moving through the keys. And then I'll play something and I'm like, oh, how about that? And I kind of start with a nugget. And then if I decide I want to turn it into a song, I'll often pace around the room for hours trying to come up with lyrics. I do a lot of pacing. That's mostly the process.
Pacing.
I don't know, I've written so few songs in the last few years, When I was writing for my band, that was 5 years ago. I can't even remember. I don't know. But I start with a groove and a feel, and I try to get that settled, and then I have a lyrical concept. I just go from there.
How did you start playing the piano?
My mom had me take piano lessons. I started piano lessons when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a teacher who was judged to be incompetent, and so I was switched over to a different teacher, and I studied with her once a week for 10 years. I saw her. So I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily true I didn't have formal music education, but I never went to school. And so that's why I have a chip on my shoulder about it, because everybody I know went to school, and so to be someone who didn't go is just okay.
You mean go to school to study music?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But did you learn to play everything, or was it just classical music?
Just classical, pretty much. Yeah.
So the fundamentals, basically.
Yeah, totally classical. The first exposure I had to anything other than that was when I was 18. I was in my friend's garage, and they were jamming. And I was just how do you guys know what to play? What are you doing? I couldn't get it. And so then I was oh shit, I gotta learn this. Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn how to improvise and just jam? Or do you know?
I still, it's funny, people ask me that about Japanese, so they'll be oh, how long did it take you to learn to speak Japanese? It's oh, I never stopped. I didn't arrive. It's the same thing. I will never, it's not my background. So I really feel I'll never be as free with improvisation as somebody who that was their formative musical experiences. And it's definitely, I just feel blockages and I feel difficulty flowing from time to time, and it's something I work on all the time. I found ragtime because of a couple of friends. So the bar 1642 has had a Tuesday night ragtime night for many years. I don't know exactly how many, but it was first this guy Matt Oden, and after him took over this guy Andrew Barrett. And at the time that I was introduced to the bar, Andrew Barrett was in his tenancy, and I had just sort of vaguely thought about ragtime because my piano teacher died, and I got a bunch of music books from her estate, and one of them was 12 Rags by Scott Joplin. And I was practicing them at home a little bit, being I hope nobody hears me playing these rags because this music is so dorky. I had never heard it performed. I had only heard it on the ice cream truck, and it just felt really antiquated, and I couldn't relate to it. But then when I heard Andrew playing at the bar, and he's like born and bred in this stuff, and so it was like he's really playing the music, not just what's on the page, but making it sparkle, and it was so alive, and I was so taken with the style, so I just started working on it more.
I'm so glad you played that last piece. It's a special song, and the way that you play it it's just like deep.
I think probably, if I had to guess, it's like William Bolcom is a classical composer first, and the stuff he writes is like in a ragtime tradition, but it's definitely influenced by his classical sensibilities, and so not a lot of ragtime piano players have that background.
Yeah.
And a lot of the classical piano players who like do a ragtime album, it's not doesn't sound like ragtime. I mean, it's beautiful, but it like doesn't have the feel and stuff. And so that's probably why I feel like able to interpret those Bolcom pieces, is because I have experience in both. The very next thing is the competition again. I'm going to go there again because...
defend your championship.
The way that competition works, it's in Mississippi.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called...
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It's called it's called the World Championship Old Time Piano Playing Competition. So it's not technically specifically a ragtime competition. You could play... you could go play novelty, you could play parlor. It just has to be before 1930. Stride, whatever you want. So not everybody plays classic ragtime. Anyway, the way that competition works is that if you win 3 times, you are retired from the competition. And
I see. So you have 2 more to go.
2 more times.
Do you have to win consecutively?
I don't think you have to win consecutively, but also when you win, then the next year you participate, they comp your stay.
Oh.
Your hotel stay.
Nice.
So you're going again this year.
Yeah, I feel like I have to do it, So it's just
do it.
That's really what's next on the docket for me, is I just gotta bust ass and try and win that competition again.
That's so funny.
When you went there, did you do? Because I remember I went to the party where you were like practicing, and you played this rag. I don't remember which one it was, and you fabricated this like woven interconnection between the rag and this Bach piece, and you cloaked it in a cup.
Right.
And it was so hilarious because like it truly like looked like up, and I was like, oh, she's probably just forgetting stuff, and I've never seen her forget stuff, but everybody probably forgets stuff at some point. And look, she's coming through it, and she did it. And then I'm like, okay, I've just been totally played, because now she's like somehow seamlessly weaving into this like Bach like 2-part invention or something. It was just so good. I was like, there's no way that you can do something like that and not win the competition. And then you won the competition.
I did win. I was so happy to win. I really didn't expect to.
Did you do that for the competition?
Of course, yeah. I did everything
did.
exactly the way I did it.
Good.
That night. That's really cool that you described that, because that series of thoughts that you had is like exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, it was so good. And I was just like, this is like
it
wondrous.
Wasn't Bach. It was just like,
what was it?
It was just something I made up on the theme of that rag.
She made it up.
I had my friend Adam Yarian, who's a 3-time winner of the contest. Now he's a lawyer. He's retired from music, but he was kind of coaching me and letting me know, like, this contest is not just about piano. It's about showmanship, and it's about gimmicks, and it's,
your personality.
And so
engaging the crowd.
So that's why I added that thing.
I think it's cool that they have a competition where that's like part of it and allowed.
It
like,
is
it's
cool,
not
isn't
just
it?
about
Totally.
the music.
Yeah.
Like they want you to have a shtick.
They want you to like have like
ham it
part
up
of
or
yourself.
do whatever. Yeah.
Right. I think that is really cool. It's on the scorecard. Like, you get your scorecard back and you see the categories, and it's like, accuracy, rhythm and phrasing,
Humor,
salesmanship of the music, costume, like different kinds of things like that. And I think that's really important to the origins of this music, because people were performers back in those days. You couldn't just go on and have a t-shirt and expect to succeed because of the quality of no. You know, people were like dancing and doing flips and having diamonds in their teeth and just whatever, you know.
Wow, that's awesome.
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is @EvePlaysPiano.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Hey.
So good.
This is fun.
So amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Casa Berenice Recordings podcast. We would like to thank the musicians for performing and our lovely community here in Northeast LA for attending our concerts.
For more information about our house concerts or our current release catalog, please visit our website, CasaBereniceRecordings.com.
And thank you for listening.